ahead and call the Sherwood City Council February 6, 2024 regular meeting into session at 7 p.m. All rise for the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, thank you. Sylvia, roll call.
Mayor Rosner?
Here.
Council President Young?
Here.
Councilor Browse?
Here.
Councilor Mays?
Here.
Councilor Giles?
Here.
Councilor Stankey?
Here.
And Councilor Scott is absent.
All right, thank you, Sylvia. Approval of the agenda. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
All right, have a motion and a second for approval of the agendas. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Agenda passes. Thank you, Council. On the consent agenda, we have two items tonight. Item A is approval of the January 16th, 2024 City Council meeting minutes. And item B is Resolution 2024-004, authorizing an interfund loan from the Community Investment Fund into the Sanitary Fund.
I move consent. Second.
Motion and a second. All those in favor of approving the consent agenda say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. Thank you, Council. Citizen comments. Sylvia, do we have any citizen comments tonight? And Captain, could you check or there's Brad right now. No, good. So we have nothing online, so we'll go right through that. So it's gonna be a quick meeting tonight. So on new business tonight, we have resolution 2024-005 declaring support for the Washington County justice system, a commitment to partner with the state and the county in securing funding and build support, requesting that the state fully fund our court system. I'll go ahead, if you're okay with that, Craig, talk a little bit about this. And just to be really clear, what we're not proposing other than our own municipal court, that where the city is going to help the county and the state fund our countywide justice system. This is more of a statement of support for the county and a message to Salem that we desperately need our justice system well funded in the county. I went to a legislative breakfast that the district attorney's office and our judges, basically in the county district judges, put on, where they talk about what's going on and the challenges that they have. And they have challenges, and just to give you some high-level numbers, and these are rough, but just kind of give you an idea. Washington County prosecutes significantly more cases than Multnomah County, and we have, I think, 45% less judicial staff to do that. And that has a huge impact when you think about how people are moving through our justice system. If you only have 15 minutes to do a pretrial hearing with someone versus an hour, that's a big deal, you know. So the county is going to the state and asking for more funding for more judicial officers. We want to support that request. Hope that the county would fund it. We also need more space in the county, courtrooms and facilities for those judges to operate in and judicial officers to operate in. So that's what this resolution is about. We're not planning on spending any additional funds. This is just showing our support for the county, our courts, our district attorney's office. I should point out there's also a lot of need on the help me out, Ryan. So our attorneys that defend, our defendants' attorneys, what do we call them? Public defenders, yeah. Defense counsel, thank you. The need is not just on the prosecutorial side or the judge side, it's also on the public offender, or the defender side, sorry. And there's a lot of activity happening right now to address that side of the equation as well, so we'll keep ahead of this. So,
Mayor, question.
yes.
So, I think the community members might ask, so if there's more space needed at the county courts, who builds county courthouses?
County courthouses are built by the county and the state. Typically, the state does have a program for building, but it's like anything else. You have to go to the state and ask for the money. Be successful at getting the money, and that's part of why we're doing this resolution, lending our voice to that conversation.
So is it 50-50, 80-20, you know?
I don't know.
All good. But if the state can help support, that's a great thing.
Yeah. Any other questions?
So with us potentially passing this resolution, what besides words are we doing as a city?
So a couple things. One, this resolution will go to the county. It will also go to the state, Salem, during the short session here, while the legislature is figuring out what programs and capital projects they're going to fund. So we're lending our voice to that conversation. There'll be a lot of people around the county actually testifying. So this is purely just lending our voice to say we need this.
Okay. Thank you.
Any other questions?
I make a motion. I move we approve Resolution 2024-005, declaring support for the Washington County Justice System, a commitment to partner with the state and county in securing funding and build support, requesting the state fully fund court system.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All those in favor of approving Resolution 2024-005, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. Thank you, council. All righty. We're on to our city manager report. Craig.
So I just got a couple things to share tonight. But we're going to have a budget committee meeting tomorrow night at 6 o'clock here. We'll be talking about an update on where we're at in the 5-year forecast, as well as funding, borrowing money, and how that goes with for the PED bridge from the water fund that you guys had a resolution on not too long ago. So just to bring that up, I also wanted to let you know we are having a pre-construction meeting for the PED bridge Thursday. So next week when I meet with everybody, I'll have a better schedule for y'all of what that looks like. And I got a few other things to share, but I think you'll probably share some of them since I saw some of you at the events. But I do want to thank you for spending 5.5 hours of your day on Saturday to work on city goals. And our plan is to start tackling that next week in our senior leadership meeting with some measurables and timelines that we'll be bringing back to you probably in a work session, I'd say early March, maybe mid-March, depending on the schedule we have for work sessions. So we can actually incorporate stuff into this year's budget.
Awesome. Thank you, Craig.
Yep.
Any questions for our city manager?
Well, there's got to be questions. There's got to be questions.
No? All right. Well, we will move on to council announcements.
I was going to make something up, but
All right. We started over there here last time, so Dan, I think we started here.
The Planning Commission met last week, and back on June 6th, as a city council, we met for a work session to discuss the climate-friendly and equitable communities. During that work session, we came to consensus on selecting 2 options as part of that for the unbundled parking and commercial parking lots. There was extensive discussion about both of those things and what that means to the city here. It feels like we came to a pretty good solution for what we were working with. We don't really have anything comparable here for unbundled parking to set the rates. And we don't have any commercial parking lots here. And so it was a lot of just trying to understand the situation that we're in and make it so that if things do change legally, that what we're putting in place is easily removed, but also if it's not, that this is fair for what the policy is trying to do for the cities. Also the half-mile frequent line where 0 parking required, another big discussion about that and what that actually means and why it applies. And so we're still trying to get some answers with the state for what that is, because their definitions are different than what the definitions are for Metro and Department of Transportation. And so who supersedes who, essentially, is what we're trying to figure out. But I'll update you on that as we go.
usually the most restrictive rule.
It does seem that way with what we're working with, yes.
If I could just ask a question, I think I know the answer, but just for the benefit, when you talk about CFEC, what we're talking about is the former governor's executive order that DLCD took, put a lot of regulations in place that we have to follow. So we're trying to figure out how do we follow those
Yes.
in a way that's compatible with our community.
Correct. Yep. And it is tax season starting right now. Cash Oregon, cashoregon.com offers free tax filing for Oregon citizens as long as you're making under $64,000. They do in-person appointments as well as virtual, and the target audience is elderly or low income. It is through AARP, but anyone who qualifies for the program is eligible for free tax preparation with them, and they will help you. They will do the tax filing for you. It's a great service. So, yeah, that's all I got.
On Sunday was the third annual Sherwood Lunar New Year Festival. Big success, over 600 people attended, featuring paper crafts, Taiwanese tea, storytelling, traditional red envelopes, drumming, music, and classical dance. Culminated in an exciting confetti-filled performance by the White Lotus Dragon and Lion dancers. Yeah, it was a lot of fun. Councilor Stansky was there with his family. It was great to see him. Council President Young and I volunteered, and yeah, it was a packed house. Fancy, huge dragon. It's the year of the dragon. If you didn't hear, I learned all the zodiac signs, or at least I was able to point to them, because that was my volunteer station. But in addition to the big giant dragon, there was 4 other little dragons running all around, and yeah, people had a great time. Yeah, packed, great event, and yeah, that's all I got.
All the way down to you. Thank you, Taylor.
Okay, so the library advisory committee met. Good work on. We reviewed some of the reports, and the usage. We're not quite up to pre-COVID levels in some areas, but we kind of expect that. Some of the things have gone through the roof, as you'd imagine. The digital collections. And things like that. We are still working. We've added a new member to the Sherwood Library Foundation, which is acronym SHELF, and they are working on the public outreach. Where again, it's a brand new organization, but anybody who is interested in leaving a legacy or helping to grow the library and their programs in Sherwood, please reach out to me, and I'll put you in touch with that organization, because if you have a passion for books or for the impact that libraries have had on your life or life of a loved one's, then this is something that you can really help and give back, and there's ways that your time and money can be magnified in this community. Let's see. I guess I'll do a selfish announcement. The high school has a play starring a very cute old man who's really my 17-year-old daughter, trying to be an old man. And if you think that I'm not self-conscious walking around her because she says, "Dad, show me how an old man walks," and I have to say, what? I'm not old. Look to your grandfather. So
As
anyway.
she follows you walking around the house.
Yes. She's like, "I think I'll put a rock in my shoe to make you." Geez, it's making me feel old. But so that's going on this Friday and Saturday at 7 o'clock at the high school. You can't take it with you is the name of the play. So if you want to go see a good performance of somebody pretending to be me, it's going to be great. That's it for me.
All right. Thank you, Renee.
So I once played Rip Van Winkle.
Very old man.
Very old man, yeah. A couple announcements. The Senior Advisory Committee meets next Wednesday. They're diligently working on the age-friendly city requirements and what we can be doing differently. Tomorrow I will attend the Water Consortium meeting. Apparently there's some really hot topics we've got to vote on. I did attend the HAC meeting, the Housing Advisory Committee, last week, and it's really pretty phenomenal what Washington County is doing in their arena of affordable housing. Over 1,000 households were housed in the last 2 years, 1,700 people. They created and extended so that 175 shelters were established, or shelter beds. They exceeded the governor's order, executive order, in those 2 years. They went from 12 to 144 case managers, which I thought was pretty incredible. Went from 49 to 426 shelter capacity, and then housing capacity from 775 to 2,510. So a lot of really good work is being done in Washington County to help those who are struggling with housing. So just thought I'd share those. Otherwise, on a personal note, my grandson turns 4, and the other one turns 1 this weekend.
Nice.
So I get to go see them in Spokane. Yes, I'm excited.
Very
Renee.
cool. Thank you.
Any idea how our county numbers compare to neighboring counties?
We're doing better than their neighboring counties. Yeah, we far exceeded the governor's orders.
All we hear about is the failures of another county or something.
Yes,
That's great.
we're doing things right.
Thanks
For
Renee.
asking.
Awesome.
I'll just piggyback a little bit on the affordable housing part. Last Thursday before they all blur together, was our CDBG and home presentation for grant applicants. And we had 2 applicants for the home program, both affordable housing developments, one for seniors, and then that one I believe is in Tigard, and then one in Beaverton. So more affordable housing in those jurisdictions most likely coming. And then last night, the last 4 weeks, we've had 3 Region 1 Area Commission on Transportation meetings. It's been a busy January for that group. But last night, we had a presentation on STIP, not to be confused with MISTIP. So this is the statewide transportation improvement program. And the presentation was a little glim because it's going to be less money. And so with that comes some trade-offs. So for the 27 to 30 year funds, they're only going to be doing paving interstates in this time frame, unable to address remaining bike and walk gaps, and significant reduction in asset maintenance and preservation across all modes. And they're anticipating being reactive versus proactive investment. So they're having to, work with the money that they're thinking is coming. I think it was also a week or 2 ago, a few of us, Mayor, Councilor Browse, attended WEA legislative session. It was good to hear from our state reps on the upcoming short session that started, I think, Monday. And then I also attended the Lunar New Year on Sunday, and I don't think I've ever seen so many people in that art center. There was one point I don't think you could have walked in there, and they were doing a great job making sure the fire exits were.
All the fire rules and regs were being adhered to.
They were keeping it clear and making sure people could walk through, but it was packed. I was working the oolong tea station, so if you wanted some hot tea, I was serving hot tea with former Councilor Jennifer Kastler, and it was just really, to see that many people walk through our art center was amazing. So,
Very cool.
yeah, that's it.
Awesome. Keith, I think you have one more item.
I apologize. Thank
missed
you, Mayor. Just as an alert for those that are watching here in person or remotely, the Roy Rogers Road is going to be closed on the 16th to the 18th. So make other plans for traveling. More they have to cross the road with a water pipe segment. End of last weekend, so you don't want to get caught in that. Only maybe 2 years left in this project.
What portion from where to where is going to be closed?
It'll be closed from Shoals, Sherwood to probably Beef Bend. Or not, maybe it's just across the river. So it's the segment between Shoals Ferry or Shoals Sherwood Road intersection of Roy Rogers to the river.
Basically, anybody going to Beaverton better find a different.
Yes, another way for sure.
Note to
And
husband.
what agency is doing this project?
It is the consortium of Tuolumne Valley Water District, Hillsborough, Beaverton,
In the county.
and the county. So the never-ending project. I was literally driving last Thursday, Friday, and just I'm sick and tired of this damn project. And this is coming from people that are very involved. We know the benefits, the long term, the big investment, all that good stuff. So if I would know all those benefits that I'm getting sick and tired of this project, the general population must be as well. So as a reminder, take a deep breath. It will get done, just as taking forever. So yeah, 16th to the 18th February. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you. And thank you, Council. So I just have a couple items tonight. I too got to go to the WEA legislative session. That was fun. It's always good to meet not just our legislative team, our House Rep and Senator down in Salem on our behalf, but you also get to network with a lot of the other legislators. I got to spend some time with Ben Bowman, who's a House Rep for Tiger and a little bit north, and we actually had coffee a couple weeks later, which is great. I also was asked and had the honor of moderating and emceeing the Metro Mayors Consortium Meet the Mayors event, which was a lot of fun. It's the Metro Mayors Consortium is basically all the mayors in the metro region. It was originally formed as kind of to be an active voice checking Metro of their government. So we spend a lot of time talking about regional issues and how we address those and advocate. And every year in January they do a Meet the Mayors event. They bring a lot of business leaders from the region, especially in the development environment. And we have a forum. And we did a panel, and then all the mayors got to speak at that forum. So that was a fun event. I embarrassed myself on Coin News on Mayor's. Coin had us on Mayor's Monday, which is great. So I get to highlight all the great things that are going on in the city. So that it was actually a lot of fun, although I can't watch myself on that thing. We had our police awards ceremony on Friday night, which is another great event where we honor our police department and all the things that they're doing. It's always inspiring to go to the event. It's not just awarding people for good attendance. We have officers that are out there actually literally saving people's lives and doing really good things in our community. It's a chance to honor those officers. Dan, did you want to pipe in at all in that event?
Mayor, you summed it up really well. I guess I would just additionally say,
If it's red, it's on that one, I think.
anyways, I'll just speak up. But yeah, it's a great event. After being in law enforcement now for 31 years, sometimes for me, crimes kind of start to really blend together. And so it's a really important time for us to get together as an agency. It was wonderful to have council there as well and others there to be able to remind us of, just as you said, Mayor, that they're there. Those officers are saving lives, and we highlight some of those cases where they are doing that. And it's not always just about saving lives. It's, like you were just saying, Councillor Young, in regards to homelessness and things like that. It's some of these things that these officers that are doing here in Sherwood that other agencies may not do for a variety of reasons, maybe time constraints and other pressures, but the good work that they're doing here is not just saving lives, but it's helping people. So, like I said, after a long career of law enforcement, and I've been in multiple agencies through that career, I can say that Sherwood police officers care more about their community and the people crossing through their community than I've seen in my 31-year career. So it's great to have an event like that and be able to honor and hear and remind ourselves of how important they are. So thank you for being there.
Oh, well, and thank you for all you do for our community and your leadership in the police department. It was a fun event. Again, it's always amazing hearing the stories. The montage of body cam footage is always funny, but also serious, to watch and see what's going on in our community. I thought it was great that Miss B got Officer of the Year. For those of you who don't know, Miss B is our police dog. It's a wonderful, very friendly, fun dog. So that was a lot of fun as well. So, the only other thing I guess I'll mention is we have two things. We have the short session, as we call it, coming up in Salem. So I believe we just went into session on Monday, lasts for 35 days. The intent of the short session is to kind of fix things that happened in the long session, but obviously they try to do a lot more. So there's
That list of bills.
yeah, there's 230 bills. So we do what you may not know is happening behind the scenes is we do a lot of work advocating on behalf of the city and working through different advocacy groups that focus on cities like the League of Oregon City, making sure that our voices are heard when it comes to legislation. And a lot of it's about preventing preemption. What I mean by preemption is where the state tries to control things that are typically controlled by cities, like land use planning. So we're gearing up for that. We have consultants that we work with on that, and they're being very helpful in helping us work through that process. And our Representative Courtney Neron's been a great partner with that as well as we're advocating for cities. And the only other thing I'll mention at the beginning of March, I'll be heading out to DC on the annual trip to advocate for federal dollars to come back to the city. We have some consultants we work with out in Washington, D.C. as well. We meet with Wyden and Merkley and Representative Salinas and try to get earmarks back to the city. And that's been very successful over the last 5 years working with these consultants, making these trips, advocating at the state level. We've brought $7 million back to Sherwood, which is great. And we have some stuff we're working on with them right now to bring some additional dollars back. So that is all I have, unless anyone else has.
I was just going to chime in on piggybacking on what Officer Dana was saying. At that event, at the awards event, I was talking to another officer who was a lateral from another department as well, and that officer told me that he's never felt as supported as he feels in this community of Sherwood. Which says a lot about how our officers treat our community and how our community treats our officers, and you can just tell. So
It's amazing. And I love the "Don't Be Crimey" bling that we're starting to see propagate out there.
It's going to be a trademark.
So
Yes.
my only other thing is I would like to kind of add for next year's Lantern Festival, because I thought it was pretty packed last year. So after hearing these reports, we may want to look at a bigger venue just to get more of the community involved or somewhere, if we can.
Put a big tent.
Get a tent out front or something. I mean, let's make it let's make room.
Yeah.
It was a great event. All right. Unless there's anything else, I'm going to go ahead and adjourn our regular meeting, and we'll go right into our URA Board of Directors meeting.
yes.
If I can gavel that. So, welcome to our Urban Renewal Agency Board of Directors meeting, which, in case you're wondering and you're watching, it's the same group of people that sit on your city council. It's Tuesday, February 6, 2024 at 7:25 approximately.
I found this on the web.
That's okay. Sylvia, roll call.
Chair Rosner,
Here.
Vice Chair Young,
Here.
Member Browse,
Here.
Member Mays,
Here.
Member Giles,
Here.
Member Stankey,
Here.
and Member Scott is absent.
Thank you, Sylvia. We have 2 items on the consent agenda tonight. We have the approval of the December 12, 2023 URA Board meeting minutes, and item B, URA Resolution 2024-001, authorizing the agency manager to enter into a public improvement contract with Kerr Contractors for the Ice Age Drive early tree removal and minor utility trenching project.
I move consent.
Second.
We have a motion from Councilor Rouse, and we'll take the second from Councilor.
No counselor. Mr.
Oh, that's
Member.
right, it's Mr. in the words. Mr. and Mrs.
Okay.
Or Miss, whatever it is. Anyways, we have a motion and a second. All those in favor of approving the consent agenda, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. Thank you, council. And that is it. We're going to,
Almost counsel.
sorry, you know what I mean.
Board.
We are adjourning and going into executive session. Thank you, everybody.
I don't even know how to spell Pete's name.
It's